Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 140 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. This month, we're focusing on our physical well-being, our physical health, and our physical goals. How do we pay attention to the physical area and aspect of our life in order to make sure that we get what we want in every area and aspect of our life? I've learned through personal experience that if we don't take care of our health, it will catch up to us, and somehow we will get an incident that gets us to pay attention to our health. I had a sudden cardiac arrest in 2010 because I was running through my life and I wasn't paying attention to eating right, taking care of myself, drinking water, moving, getting any exercise whatsoever, except for running through my life. And the world gave me a wake up call, or the universe gave me a wake up call, or God gave me a wake up call to say, you need to pay attention to the core basic things that are important to you as a human being if you want to stick around and experience more of this crazy thing called life. Our topic today is movement. And it just so happens, and it's really interesting, I find that so often there's this thing like a synchronicity or a coincidence that happens in my life. I'm thinking about a topic, I'm looking for information on something, and what came in the mail but my son's Lifetime Fitness magazine, and the cover story is about moving for joy, movement for joy, the impact that positive emotions have on the effectiveness of your exercise, which we're going to talk about exercise in more detail tomorrow. Today, we're just talking about movement, because one of the things I found, I've had a couple times in my life when I have actually been bedridden due to illness and things, inflammation, arthritis, some kidney things, some eye things, and I couldn't move. I mean, and that was the problem. And I learned and figured out that if I just started moving and I got moving and did things, there's like this, whenever you're doing anything, it's like the learning curve. It's hard in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you reach a point where you get momentum, and it just, the pain or the challenge kind of drifts down. Almost everything fits this normal distribution curve. If you know anything about statistics or mathematics, which nerdy people like me do, you know that almost everything we do follows that curve. And movement and exercise is the exact same way, especially for people that have physical challenges and chronic pain. It's hard, but at some point you get that momentum, that break even point where then everything becomes easier and you physically start to feel better. So today, I did not read this article yet. It's Move for the Joy of It. And then it's got a 4-step process, which I'm quickly going to share with you. And then I'm going to actually read this article today and implement and do these things so I can just discover and learn more about movement and the importance of movement in our lives. I have so many examples of this and how movement and our environment's like. We just talked about our environment, how it impacts how we show up in the world, how we feel about our life, how we feel about our experiences, and how we then choose to behave moving forward. What we think, what we feel has a huge impact on the results that we get. So what's this 4-step process? The 4-step process is, number 1, embrace your creativity. Embrace your creativity, meaning get creative about how you decide you are or are not going to move. You know, maybe it's you just start, and I'm going to share some secret things that I do that I hope people don't know about, but I got busted doing it in cardiac rehab in 2010. Whenever I'd go to the bathroom, I would do leg lifts, and it unfortunately would increase my heart rate, and it would mess my heart rate up for cardiac rehab. And so the nurses called me out on that. I'd go to the bathroom, I'd come back, and my heart rate would be really different. And normally nobody would know, but in cardiac rehab, they're always monitoring you, so they would know that I had a spike. And so I got kind of busted doing that. But it's a way that for a lot of years now I've used to incorporate a little bit of movement and exercise into my life when I otherwise wouldn't or couldn't. Number 2, measure your progress mindfully, meaning, and this is sounding a lot like the SOAP framework to me, and everything sounds like the SOAP framework, right? So, because how we get what we want, it's really only a 4 or 5-step process, no matter what we call it. So we want to measure our progress. Are we moving toward what we want with respect to our level of flexibility, our level of movement? I will admit I'm one of the least flexible people I know. I also have horrific balance. I remember after my cardiac arrest, I got one of those Wii Fit things that went for it was one of those video game things. And it told me back then when I was 50 that I had the balance of a 78-year-old woman. So I knew it was something I needed to work on. And I think part of it was because my vision was so bad and so off and had been off for so long. But I do try to work on my balance a little bit. So I don't want to fall down. I don't want to be one of those people that falls down. I think the older I get, the less I like falling down. Step 3, let yourself learn. Always be learning, always be continually improving. We did a whole challenge about that last year, a whole annual challenge on doing one thing every day that continuously improves us in some area or aspect of our life. And finally, step 4, relish the pleasure of every challenge. Now, this is kind of a hard one, right? But if we focus on what we learn and the pleasure and the experience of the challenges that we face, because we're always going to be facing challenges, and we take the lessons learned and we look for the positives in all those experiences, every challenge becomes a stepping stone to what it is that we want. So what's our action item today? Think about how easily and effortlessly you actually move physically through your life. Do you flow and move physically through your life? Do you have aches and pains and challenges that you need to work on? I got a knee. My left knee has been bugging me for about 3 years. It's time that I nail that and figure out what kind of movement I need to do or strengthening exercises I need to do in that leg in order to, and we'll talk about that probably tomorrow, in order to make that a non-issue for me. All right. That's it. That's all I've got today. Any questions, ask, hit me up. You can always message me if you're hearing me on Facebook, or you can look me up, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, Get Your Goals Annual Challenge. You're welcome to join our private Facebook group that is on Get Your Goals, not Get Your Goals Annual Challenge, the Get Up and Go challenge page. And if you don't know what that link is, hit me up and I'll stick it in the comments below. All right, have an amazing day. And if I can help you, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Bye. Get moving.